Today's podcast is entitled The Goddess Within. We'll be working with the goddess energy of Shakti, the goddess Lakshmi, the goddess Saraswati, Durga, and Kali. Welcome to episode 2. There's our blanket. Excellent. Asymmetrical twin. Dropping and sinking up. Notice how so just notice joining us for the second episode next week. Namaste. Hello and welcome to episode 82 of Namaste Yoga. Today we're going to cover one of my absolute most favorite topics and the thing that just totally jazzes me up about practicing yoga every day, and that is the theme of the goddess. And I would like to dedicate this podcast to my very, very dear friend, fierce, loving, and compassionate goddess Kelly Childs. So, namaste, Kelly. Today, I have received some really generous and beautiful letters from my listeners, and I would like to share them with you. I received this one from Siobhan Bowes, and she donates from Belfast. And she says, she gave a very generous donation of $50, so thank you, Siobhan. And she says, "Hi, Melissa. Thanks as always for all you do. I continue to deeply enjoy and benefit from your teachings. Having had a few big life challenges lately, I find Namaste Yoga like returning home to a cozy house with a warm fire on a wintry evening. It warms me right from the inside out. Love and blessings, Siobhan." So thank you, Siobhan. Very kind. And then I also got a letter from Viola from Rome, and she's a regular donator. She donates, she has a subscription for $10 a month. So that is really kind and generous, and I really appreciate it. And, you know, when you even think about that, it only works out to $250 a class, so still an incredible value. And Viola says, "Dear Melissa, 1 year has passed since my first yoga class with you. So I think it's amazing that I'm starting to build relationships with my yoga students in this virtual forum. It's incredible to me that I have a long-term relationship with some of you like this. I guess this is the right time to figure out what Namaste Yoga really means to me. Just last night, someone asked me where I practice yoga, and it just came natural to say, I practice at home because my teacher lives in Canada. I can absolutely say you are my favorite and best teacher. I have tried many teachers and different types of yoga these past 6 years, but none of them gave me what you give me weekly through your amazing podcast. I'm always so excited when I download a lesson of yours, and always happily surprised to how much you can share just through a screen. Your knowledge, preparation, and devotion are just invaluable. Thank you, and thank your husband for the so appreciated hard work you share with us each and every week. You really enlighten me. Namaste, Viola." So thank you. Thank you to you, dear goddesses, Viola and Siobhan. And I also want to thank, I think it's Lily. Yes, Lily from the UK for making a donation this week of $20. So thank you so much to all of you who donate. It does make it possible to take care of the recurring costs of tape and feed and time and everything it takes to put together a podcast like this every week. So thank you so much. And if you'd like to donate, you can go to www.melissawest.com. And also go to Facebook. Our Facebook fan page has bumped up to over 200 fans. So thank you so much. And I'd love for you to go there. When you're there, you can see I post each week a blog article that usually has some reflective questions around the class that we're working on this week. So you can also find that at melissawest.com and click on the blog link, or you can go to my website and sign up for my newsletter, and then you'll get those blog entries, articles, and questions sent out to you. So without further ado, let's get on to the best part of our class. And today, working with the goddess pose, Utkata Konasana. We're going to start with reclined goddess pose. And we are going to need a bolster and 2 blocks. And if you don't have a bolster and 2 blocks, then what you're going to get is a bunch of blankets that you can roll up to make a shape like this, and more blankets or pillows to act as your blocks. That's going to be totally fine. We have the Hindu Goddesses Lakshmi and Kali to inspire our practice today. We're going to start with reclined goddess pose. So let me show you how you set that up. You're going to sit down in front of your bolster or your pile of blankets. And draw that bolster right into the base of your spine. And then you'll lie back on your bolster. Open your arms up to the side. Bring the soles of your feet together and open your legs up on the blocks. So adjust the blocks. You may need them in more or you may need them out more. But find the place where your legs are supported and you can really rest here. Oh, this is such a wonderfully restorative pose, as we'll see. I wish I could stay here with you. I don't think I can read the lesson from here, though. So you can rest back here while I share with you a goddess story. So today's goddess story, I really have to give Sally Kempton credit today. She has an incredible connection to goddess energy, and she has written several articles on the goddess on her website at sallykempton.com. And this is a story taken right from one of her articles on her website. So as always, these stories seem to be a fight between good and evil. And these two demons had taken over the world and thrown the gods out of heaven. At their wits' end, the deities knelt down in prayer and supplicated Durga to defeat the demons. So Durga, if you want to look up at this camera at your screen here, then you can see that Durga is the goddess that rides on the lion. So Durga consented and took the form as a beautiful woman, then flitted into the garden of the demon kings. Connoisseurs of beauty, the demons were delighted and sent an emissary to invite her to join their stable of wives. "I'd love it," the goddess exclaimed, "but there's just one little thing first. When I was a child, I took a vow that I would marry only a man who was able to defeat me in battle." So the demons sent their vast armies against her. As the battle raged, a series of beautiful goddesses, Lakshmi, Saraswati, Kali, Durga, Annapurna, emerged out of Durga's body. These seemingly delicate ladies laid waste to the armies, and the demon kings protested. "Not fair. You said you'd fight us alone, and look at all these helpers." "These aren't helpers," the goddess retorted. "They are aspects of myself." To prove it, she drew the other goddesses back into her body and went on to kill the demons single-handed, proving that the power of the eternal Shakti is invincible. So we're going to reflect on each one of the goddesses as you rest back here, and I want you to just pay attention and see which one seems to resonate with you most, seems to kind of charge something up in you or feel like you can relate to it the most. So the goddess Durga is known as the unfathomable or invincible one. She is a cosmic warrior, and she helps us battle our ignorance and our darkness. As I said, she rides a lion, which shows her mastery over her power, her will, and her determination. Her arms are full of weapons to slay demons and negative forces. Yet her face shines with peace and compassion. She is the power behind our dramatic breakthroughs, and she's the strength we can call on when we face challenging situations. She is a wonderful goddess to call on for protection. So Kali is known as the Black One. She is the goddess of time, and it's said that all things dissolve into her. She is often feared because she is seen as so fierce, but she is fiercely compassionate and fiercely loving. The garland of human heads pictured around her neck is enough to make anybody afraid, but really these are said to depict the sound vibrations that are manifested as thoughts, all of which are devoured when we sit in the stillness of meditation. Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth, beauty, good fortune, happiness, and unending generosity. So not only does Lakshmi give us material goods, but she also gives us spiritual gifts as well. Parvati, she is the goddess of determination and discipline. She is the only one that was able to free Shiva from his ascetic life of living in the Himalayas and meditating endlessly. And it was her, through her dedication to her own practice and her own studies, that she was able to meet Shiva where he was. And even, she was never afraid to ask him questions, and she never took no for an answer. And she shows that that we can have the courage to question male authority. And then finally, Annapurna is the goddess of food and cooking, and she provides Shiva with the food that gives energy to his knowledge and his enlightenment. And she is the divine aspect of the nourishing care that we can give towards ourselves. When we talk about Annapurna, we talk about food as being alchemical, magical, and really serving us. So take a deep breath in through your nose and let it fall out of your mouth. And reflect on all of these goddesses: Lakshmi, Kali, Durga, Annapurna, Parvati, Saraswati. And see which one resonates with you most. And ask yourself how you would like to cultivate their characteristics in your practice today. And that can be your way of setting an intention for what you would like to receive in your practice. So set your intention, and then you can begin to wiggle and stretch out. Bring your knees together and roll off of your bolster. And then you can just put your bolster off to the side. So we're going to begin with vinyasa, lying on your back. So goddess energy, masculine energy tends to be very linear and logical and straightforward. And feminine energy tends to be more flowing and circular. And so we're going to access that today. I'm thinking of this really funny story right now where my husband, he's very logical and linear and sequential like that. And he said when he met me, he watches if people are telling the truth by if they turn their eyes up to the left, because it means that they're searching the logical side of their brain. And he said it worried him when he first met me, because I was always going to the right, to my creative side. But I think eventually he just got used to it. That's what we're talking about here, though, this creative energy that underlies everything in the universe. And so we're going to access this Shakti energy. Shakti is that feminine energy of creation. We're going to do it through breath, and this breath is going to be what ignites the movement in our practice today. So cross your right leg over your left leg into a figure 4 position. You're going to breathe in here. Breathe out, draw your left knee in. Breathe in, lower. Breathe out, lower your left knee down to your left side. Breathe in, center. Breathe out, knee to chest. Breathe in, lower. Breathe out, lower your legs to the left. Breathe in, center. And keep going back and forth. And let your breath be that Shakti, that energizing force that ignites your movement and brings life to your movement. And then the next time you come to center, switch legs. So you'll cross your left leg over your right leg. Really open your left knee out to the side and inhale to prepare. Exhale, draw your right knee in. Inhale, bend. Exhale, lower your right knee to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, knee in. Inhale, lower. Exhale, knee to the side. Inhale, center. Connecting your breath with your movement. One more time. Great, and then come back center and uncross your knees. You're going to do the reclined goddess legs again here. And I would encourage you to use your blocks or your pillow to support your hips here. And here we're going to access the inner power of Shakti. So masculine power tends to be power over. So an example of that would be the, quote, masculine activity of hunting and killing animals for food, whereas the feminine way of gathering food would be internally empowering and nourishing, because traditionally women have been more the gatherers and the creators of meals out of food. So let's do a goddess sit-up. In order to access that power, you're going to bend your knees. You're going to take I have a lot of things around me today. Gonna take your hands behind your head with your elbows bent and draw your elbows in slightly. You'll tuck your chin in. Breathe in. Breathe out. Draw up through your pelvic floor. Mula Bandha. Draw your navel back towards your spine. Uddiyana Bandha. Inhale again. Exhale. Curl your shoulders off the ground, and we'll hold here and breathe here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, draw your abdominal wall back. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. And then inhale and roll down. And take a deep breath. And exhale it out through your mouth. Wonderful. That was a great goddess push-up. Let's do one more to access our inner power. Draw your elbows in slightly. Tuck your chin. Big breath in. Lift up through your pelvic floor. Draw your navel back and exhale. Curl up. Good. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And then inhale and roll down through your spine. Okay, so I'm getting in a habit of this, but I forgot that we need a strap today too. So go ahead and pause your video and get yourself a yoga strap. Lie down on your right side. We're going to do Cleopatra pose. You're going to make your body into a straight line and rest on your right elbow. And then you'll hook up your left foot and draw your left foot right into the air. So Cleopatra was the queen of Egypt from 45 to 30 BC. She's known for her exotic beauty, as all goddesses are. And she's also known for her affairs with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. Okay, so you can release your left leg, and then what you're actually going to do is come towards Yoga Nidra pose. So wherever along the lines you are, and this is great, you're going to take your left arm underneath your left leg, and you're going to start to work your left shoulder underneath, and then maybe even your head. And then release your legs, and let's come over onto the other side and do this pose lying on your left side now. So line up your body in a straight line. Okay. And you're going to hook up your right foot and draw your leg in. So this goddess class is not just for women. We all have our feminine and masculine aspects, and in practicing yoga, we marry the two. So Hatha yoga is referred to as Hatha, sun and moon, the sun being the masculine, the moon being the feminine. And in practicing yoga, we create the divine union between the two. It just happens to be that we live in a culture that really idealizes and reveres masculine energy over feminine energy. And so there's a good imbalance going on, and so it's really helpful, therefore, for all of us to practice these feminine nurturing practices like we're doing today, and connecting to our inner goddess. Okay, and then you can release your right leg and go ahead and bend your right knee, work your right shoulder underneath that, maybe even towards getting your ankle behind your head. So wherever you are along the way is just perfect. Nowhere to get to, as if you're not somewhere already, as Mark Whitwell says. Okay, and then release your left leg and come up to sitting. So in sitting, we're going to do a pose that I learned from Ninka from yogabliss.me. And she calls it zig-zag pose. And so you'll bend your right knee in front of your left knee, and probably your one hip will be lifted up off the ground. And so if it is, you're just going to take a pillow or a blanket, and you'll just fill the space there. So as you need it. So and each side will be different. So on this side for me, I'm okay. And then we're going to draw that circle energy. So you'll take your left hand and circle around in front, and inhale and circle back. Exhale, circle to your right. Inhale, circle to your left. Connecting with that divine Shakti energy, the breath that ignites your movement. So just as Annapurna creates the food to feed Shiva, our breath feeds our yoga pose. Okay, and then you can switch sides. So your left knee is bent in front of your right knee. And just notice it might be different on this side. So on this side, my right buttocks does kind of suspend off the ground. So I'll just fill the space there. Much better. And then exhale around to your left. And inhale back to your right. It's almost like you're drawing little chalk circles with your hand. And then come back to center, and you can release your legs. Okay, we're going to do a pose to open your hips to prepare you for this standing goddess pose, Utkata Konasana. So you'll come up onto all fours, and you'll need to turn sideways on your mat to do this. And what you're going to do is walk your knees out, and you're going to make your legs in the shape like a frog at a 90-degree angle. And then you'll come forward. Now the tendency here is to lean forward and lift your tail. So keep your tail tucked under and lean back. And it's an intense pose, there's no doubt about that. So breathe. Send the nurturing energy of breath into your hips. So keep pushing back. You'll probably start to lean forward in this pose. And then I find the easiest way out of this pose is to fall forward and gather myself up again. Okay, so then you'll come back upright. All right, I want to show you a modification for the next pose first, and then I'll show you the deeper expression of the pose, do whatever you need to take care of your knees. So the full expression of the posture that we're going to be doing involves very deep knee flexion, and that won't be for everybody. So exercise good self-care, look after yourself, and choose the version that works best for you. Here's the modified version. You'll come to standing, and you'll stand and just squat from side to side. And we'll do this with breath. Inhale, center. Exhale to the side. Inhale, center. Exhale to the side. So the full expression of this pose is going to be with full knee flexion. Inhale, center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, center. Exhale to the side. And go back and forth like that. Great. And then come to a seated position. We're going to, I'm stuck. We're going to sit and cultivate Shakti energy. So you'll sit cross-legged for this one. You could do this one sitting in a chair if sitting on the ground cross-legged doesn't work for you. That would be totally fine. I'm going to shorten this spinal energy series significantly. I'm going to shorten it to about a quarter of its normal size. Normally we would do 108 repetitions, and today we're only going to do 27. So we have lots of time for a goddess pose. But I wanted to get a sense of cultivating that Shakti energy, which is also like Kundalini, the idea that we have an unlimited store of power at the base of our spine that we can access for energy, for creative energy, and for our life. So this begins with your hands on your ankles. If you're sitting in a chair, you could just place your hands on your knees. You're going to inhale, tip your pelvis forward, arch your spine forward like cat pose, and then exhale, round back, arch your spine the other way. Okay, so inhale and exhale. And then inhale in the center and exhale. Place your hands on your knees. You're going to inhale, circle your navel around to the front. Exhale, circle around behind you. Keep your arms straight. Inhale. Exhale. And then circle the other way. And then come back to center. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. And then the next part is a twisting action. You're going to inhale to the left and exhale to your right. And if this is, you can also do this standing or sitting in a chair. If you do it standing, take a pretty wide stance, okay? So inhale left, exhale right. Inhale in the center, full exhale. Okay, so we're moving up your spine, drawing that energy up your spine. The next piece comes to your heart center, hands on your knees again, arms straight, inhale. Exhale, round your heart back, inhale, reach your heart forward. And inhale in the center. Exhale. Now inhale, draw your shoulders up. Exhale, lower them down. If this bothers your shoulders, you can do an inhale up and exhale, roll them back and down. So choose a speed that works for you. Big inhale and exhale, lower them down. Okay, next one, you're going to circle your head around in front 5 times one way. And 5 times the other way. And inhale, center. Great. Okay. So we're going to come up to standing and do our pose Utkata Konasana. Make your way up to standing. And standing, take your feet wide. You're going to inhale. Exhale, rotate to your left, lift your right heel. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate to your right, lift your left heel. So now the moment we've all been waiting for, goddess pose. And I feel this pose really depicts the goddess Kali. And Kali is my favorite goddess. We're going to take our feet wide. As you'll see, if you go back in the episodes, I think there's about 6 episodes on Kali back there somewhere. You're going to take your feet wide and turn your toes out. And then you'll bend your knees so they're over your ankles. Tuck your tail. So a lot of times people sway their butts back, but you want to go straight down and keep a level pelvis here. Pubic bone, hip bone, hip bone. And then you bring your arms up to the side like Kali. So Kali is this fierce goddess. She's depicted holding the head of a man. And this is actually... that she holds the decapitated head of a man, and this is actually the god of evil. So as this story goes, there was this evil force that evil was taking over the world, as it always does in these stories, and nobody could save it, because every time this fierce warrior would be hit by an arrow or stabbed, every drop of blood that dropped to the ground would fall up, and up would rise a new warrior. So it just kept reincarnating more and more evil. And so what Kali did was she decapitated him and then drank all his blood so that no more blood could spill on the ground, and thus destroying evil. And so this is her pose. And when she destroyed evil, she danced this victory dance where she, she was very excited that she overcame evil in the universe. And apparently this dance went on and on. It was a bit of an ecstatic dance. And so Shiva, all the other gods came to Shiva and said, "You've got to stop her." Shiva's her husband. They said, she's causing a real ruckus in the universe, and enough is enough. She's had a dance. Try and get her to stop. And so Shiva laid down underneath her feet. That's why she's often depicted as Shiva under her foot. And she, apparently when he did that, she was so surprised that she stepped on her husband that she stuck out her tongue. And so you can do that. Stick out your tongue like Shiva. So let me just show you this statue of Kali, because it depicts that story really well, where she's stepping on Shiva and sticking out her tongue, and you can see the decapitated head where she's destroyed evil here and keeping the blood from spilling to the ground. So it's a pretty amazing story. There's those skulls that we talked about at the beginning, which are the manifestations of your thoughts, which can just be subsumed into the black hole of Kali in your meditation practice. Pretty amazing stuff. Okay, so I wanted to do a few different variations on Kali today, use my feminine creative energy and come up with a few different versions of this pose. So the first one that I wanted to do was just simply inhale up, exhale, squat down. Inhale up and exhale, squat down. Okay, and then release your arms and legs, just shake it out. We're going to do another version of standing goddess, Kali's pose, Utkata Konasana. You'll take your legs wide again, turn your toes out, and you're going to create a circle in front of you. That's that symbolic of the circle of life, the creative energy of the divine feminine. And what you're going to do is exhale, side bend over to your right. Inhale, center, and switch your circle. Exhale, side bend over to your left. Keep your tail tucked under. And then inhale back up center. Release your legs. Bring your feet together. So one more version of this goddess pose. You're going to thank me tomorrow when you feel this in your legs, I'm sure. Make sure you have an Epsom salt bath tonight so that you're not too sore tomorrow. What we're going to do is step from side to side into goddess pose. So you'll inhale, reach up. Exhale, step out to the side. Inhale, center. Exhale, step to the side. Good. And then release your arms down and make your way down to a sitting position. From seated, you're going to need a few props again, your pillow or blanket and your blocks. Let me show you the modification for this pose first, because again, it's another one with deep knee flexion. The modification will be to do Utkata Konasana pose. You can use your blocks here to support your knees. When we twist, you'll twist from side to side. Just take your hand to the outside of your knee and do your twist that way. And when we will do a prayer position, pressing our knees out in squat, you'll just do a forward fold here. Okay, so that's your option if knees are an issue, to be sure to support your knees. Otherwise, we're going to come into a squatting position with your toes pointing forward, your heels right underneath your sit bones, so hip width apart. And in reality, your heels will eventually touch the ground in this pose. If they're not, you can take your rolled up blanket or your pillow and just fill that space there. That can be really helpful. And then you'll walk your hands to your right side, take your left hand to the outside, your left arm to the outside of your right knee. Okay, so here you can stay like this. If you have enough balance, you can bring your hands into the prayer position here. Okay, so for me, I need to keep my hands on the ground, but that is where you can work towards in that pose. Okay, and then come to the center and twist to the other side. So take your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Look over your left shoulder. And then you're going to come to the center and you're going to, Kali and Shakti. We're going to take your toes out as much as you need to be able to place your heels on the ground. This is where these sticky jade mats sometimes stick too much. You're going to take your elbows to the inside of your knees and press your knees back. So you can do this against a wall. It's quite nice against a wall. Or, I'm tired from doing this yesterday. You could just stick a block underneath and have a little seat. That's much better. So goddess squat, another goddess squat here. Okay, and then release this pose from your body. Okay, so I need to wrap it up here. I'm going to encourage you to rest in reclined goddess pose again. I would love for you to go to my blog and take a look at the reflective questions that are on there. As you rest back in reclined goddess pose, just ask yourself what aspect of which goddess most resonates with you. And then ask yourself what the life connection is there, because when you recognize something like that in another, it's because it exists in yourself. So these and other reflective questions can be found at www.melissawest.com on the blog. Thank you so much for joining us for Namaste Yoga. Thank you to all the people who have donated to Namaste Yoga. And thank you to all of you who view it each week and do the classes. Namaste.